When was the last time you done a podcast?
So a week ago.
A week.
We have like kind of stopped a wee bit because it's just been once a week. Normally we were doing 2 podcasts a week, you know, so we need to pull our finger out.
Aye, we certainly do.
And get back on the 2 podcasts a week.
That's it.
It was a wee bit strange actually that weekend there not having UFC fights.
I know it was. I missed it. I'm not gonna
Obviously
lie.
we're super excited about getting the UFC fights to come, but
It's literally days away now.
we think about it, see during lockdown, can you even remember not having UFC fights?
Nah.
We literally went like, what, 2-3 months
Aye,
2
I
months or
forgot
something
about
like that
aye. You just totally forget straight
without
away about
UFC, and I feel as if we're just well and truly
Aye.
right back into it
Big
now,
time.
which is quite mad.
Because the cards have been so good, man. You just miss that buzz over the weekend, don't
No,
you?
100%. There'd be, obviously, like, you just didn't even realise last night there was generally nothing.
Nah,
Normally you'd have at least something, but
exactly. A reason to stay awake.
I tell you what, last night it certainly wasn't not exciting though. The amount of different things that are happening now and the buzz for Fight Island is
There's literally all sorts going on, man.
it's
What,
really
what have
quite
you seen?
something.
Have you been keeping up to speed with everything?
aye, well, just about
Finger on the
I
pulse
think.
and all that?
Finger on, well, not really. I've seen
Nah.
some stuff. I obviously realised that most fighters are actually in Yas Island now, which is pretty cool. And
When
it
did they
looks
fly out? Was
amazing.
it Friday, was it?
Maybe Friday or Saturday. Friday night maybe.
Friday night,
Maybe our
aye.
Friday night. I think they probably flew out.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, there was obviously just 2 people
Aye.
missing.
Two people.
Two people missing from that
is it 2
flight.
people?
Well, when you think about it, Burns and Usman didn't fly out.
Is Usman not away either?
Usman didn't go either,
Why?
just because like his fight was off.
I didn't realise
So
that.
nah, Usman didn't go either.
Obviously, I knew Burns didn't go because
Aye,
he's tested positive for
tested positive
coronavirus,
for the corona,
which is pretty heartbreaking.
a lot
for
of
that
stuff
card.
unfolding just now to do with obviously that, which is exciting, which we'll get into.
Yeah,
But I guess everyone, welcome back to the Fight Feed podcast, episode 7.
that's my lucky number.
Episode 7?
It's
Is it?
always my favourite number.
Oh, you've been looking forward to this podcast then.
certainly
So
have.
yeah,
I
episode
won't
7.
tell you. I won't tell you what's your favourite number though.
Why?
I can't tell
You
you.
need to tell us now.
Nah, my favourite footballer was number 7.
Oh, Ronaldo.
Henrik Larsson.
Henrik Larsson.
Henrik Larsson. Aye.
I thought it'd be the Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Henrik
Aye.
Larsson, so there's no guessing who.
If you know, you know.
Exactly, aye. So there's no guessing who
What a
Michael
player, man.
supports.
What a player.
Celtic, an SPL team, the Scottish,
that's it.
Scottish football team. Aye, so
Exactly.
Michael's all over that, clearly. But yeah, guys, so welcome back to another episode. So a lot to talk about in this episode, to be honest with you.
So much to go over.
I'm sure every fight fan that's listening to this podcast now will be absolutely buzzing for
Big time.
UFC next weekend, which is finally Fight Island, Yas Island. Most fighters are there now. You've seen on all of their Instagrams actually what the island's starting to look like.
Oh, aye, we got a first glimpse at it,
They're
didn't we?
they're arriving at the hotels and stuff as well. It all looks gas, and I mean they flew out in style.
I must admit, I'm jealous.
Did you see obviously the flight that they flew out on? It was
Was
literally
it
like,
private jets or was it like actual?
well, I don't know because it was proper. I think it was only them that was on these flights, but it was all like first class seats. You know, the
was
first
it?
class seats where you can proper like recline in and all that sort of stuff. They all had movies that they could be watching because I think they were all putting stories on of the flight. You know, and it did. They were flying out in style,
You
which
don't expect much less from the UFC though, eh?
no, and it's crazy. And also, I don't know if you've seen much of the stories as well, but when they arrived, everyone that's working on that island are in proper suits, the
Aye, that's
masks, everything. You know,
Some operation they've got going into it.
it does look like they're taking some precaution
That's gotta
with
be done
like
though, eh?
all the fighters out there.
Aye.
But yeah, no, it looks amazing, and I actually can't wait.
I literally
Like,
cannot wait.
just to see all the different stuff that's going to be unfolding this week,
There's
I
so
think
much.
is going to be pretty crazy.
I feel like it's came around quite quickly, this whole Fight Island.
Yeah, I know, because like as soon as they announced, obviously there's been like talks about Fight Island in general, about like, okay, that's where we're maybe going to be able to start putting on fights, get away from the coronavirus a bit.
Yeah.
But as soon as they announced Fight Island, which I mean, what was when they actually announced exactly where it was and stuff? Would that be about 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
I feel as if that's flown in. It's
Aye,
flown
I
into.
thought so, aye,
We're now
definitely.
less than 7 days away
Yeah, we're days away.
from Fight Island. Probably one of the best cards in UFC
I'd
history.
have to agree.
I don't think I've ever seen a card better than this. There was meant to be 3 title fights. Still potential. Still potential for 3. It's going to be amazing.
It
This
will
card.
be.
This card.
Yeah.
Obviously, other stuff that have kind of happened this week a wee bit. Worst news was the death of Khabib's father.
Dad,
He died of complications with the
Due to
coronavirus,
corona,
which is quite crazy.
horrendous.
You know, it's
I seen the UFC put out a wee tribute video to him, man. It was proper like.
has he? I've not seen that
it's
yet.
Heart, it gets your heart going, man.
I mean, he's done a lot. He's an amazing coach. Khabib, we wouldn't have.
He worshipped his father, Khabib, didn't he?
Yeah,
It's a
we
massive
wouldn't.
loss for him.
We just wouldn't have a champion like Khabib in the UFC if it wasn't for his father. Let's be honest. Like,
no way.
he's bred that boy.
He's raised proper men, hasn't he?
Yeah. To wrestling, it's just he's so good.
Unbelievable.
And a lot of that is definitely down to obviously his dad. Do you know what I mean? It's a big loss.
It's going to be a rough few months for Khabib.
He was only 57.
So young.
That is so young. I mean, that is really young to lose your father at. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's most our parents are like 50. That's round about our
My dad
parents.
turned 57
actually.
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
So I mean, super young.
It's super young. And I mean,
dad.
they are super close.
Yeah.
It's a really...
I watch. In fact, I'm going to get up now.
There's a wee bit of a...
It's genuinely like, what a guy, man. Yeah, so here it is. You've not seen it then, no?
I've not seen it. I've not seen the...
Okay,
I've not seen the... When did they put it on?
They put it on a day ago.
I don't know why I have so much everything in my life. Like, I don't know, maybe.
Oh, geez, the music and all that gets you almost straight away, doesn't it?
Then I have father here. My father. I want to say thank you for my father.
Look at the crowd going, like, you just hear the crowd going absolutely mental.
What a legacy he's left behind, but...
Great to have you here, my friend. Congratulations to you. One of the greatest champions this octagon has ever seen.
He's definitely created some amount of fighters. I guess one good thing of it is that he's at least got to see his son become the UFC.
A proud father.
Yeah.
At least he got to
It'd be worse if,
all.
like, it was, you know, it maybe happened just before he became champion. No, that is a shame, isn't it? Jeez. So 57 years old, that's very, very young to die. The coronavirus, he was battling it for quite a wee while, wasn't he? That's such a shame. That is such a shame.
Yeah,
obviously, a lot of fighters have come out and given their condolences and stuff.
Sure.
One of which being Conor McGregor. But did you see, obviously, Conor McGregor, like a week before,
he was saying it's all like a...
was trying to, like, accuse, like, was pretty much trying to say that he was using his father's illness to dodge fights. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a bit
It's a ridiculous thing to say, man.
It is. I don't think, and then he comes out now saying, like, our condolences and all that sort of stuff. I don't...
You said that week before. You don't say it. You just keep quiet.
I think so
said
too.
That the week before.
As much as I'm like
Just don't say anything.
a massive Conor fan, I just don't think, like, he hasn't learnt his lesson just to keep family out of his arguments. Do you know what I mean?
Nah. It's
I mean,
a bit of a touchy subject, man.
Yeah.
Just don't bring that
Khabib's
into it.
dad's been, like, pretty much in a coma.
Exactly.
And then you're trying to say that he's using that to not. It's pretty bad. It's bad. I mean, it just kind of goes to show that the coronavirus is here, and it is still
scary, man.
I know. What do you think this does for Khabib? I don't know what this does for Khabib going into his next fight now. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's got Justin Gaethje to fight.
How he's going to take it? Do you know what I mean?
How do you take
it?
that?
He might never fight again. You just don't know how he's going to take it.
Aye, like, obviously they've got a fight scheduled for, is it September, middle of September, with Justin Gaethje. Does that, like, I mean, obviously
is that scheduled?
I'm pretty sure they're aiming for September.
Okay.
I think that's what the UFC have been talking. Do you think so?
Aye, I reckon so.
It either, like, I don't know what he'll do, but it is. Could it be like it gives them fire to go into obviously a fight, or does it just
That's
say
it. It could go one of two ways. Do you know what I mean? It could give out like you make his dad proud.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
he's obviously a massive, he believes in God and all that sort of stuff. He's obviously thinking. Well, I'd imagine he's thinking his dad's looking down on him.
Yeah.
And he probably assumes he's going to be in the front row. His next fight, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So
So
it might spur him on,
ways.
or it might just he might break down. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he'll be in a pretty bad place at the moment. But yeah,
condolences to Khabib and his family.
100%, massive condolences. That is a sad thing. So I just wish the best for him, and hope he does whatever he does decide to do. That he's successful.
I'm sure hopefully he comes back.
I'm sure he'll bounce back. I'm sure with his belief and with his life and what his father has actually, like, taught him and got him to do. His father's always been behind him with fighting, taught him almost pretty much everything he knows. I'm pretty sure he'll see that as, I'm going to do this for my dad, because I'm sure, like, the people around him will say this is what your father was wanting you to do. And I think, like, Justin Gaethje will have a fight in his hands.
Aye, big time.
You know, because I think look what Khabib done to Conor. Like, he stayed quite quiet when he was getting all this abuse.
Yeah.
And he like built it up inside, and then
He used it as ammunition, didn't he?
He used it as ammunition, and he took it out on Conor.
Big
Do you know what I
time.
mean? I feel as if if he does go into training camp and he does go ahead with the fight,
He will not want to lose.
I think he'll be using all of that for strength, and I think he'll be able to use it for his for good. To be honest with you,
definitely right.
and then just in case he'll have quite a fight in his hands. Do you know what I mean?
So Khabib though, because Gaethje's a bit of a beast himself.
Gaethje is a beast. Gaethje is an absolute beast. I think that will be a crazy fight when it happens.
Oh, aye.
But I hope it still goes ahead.
I hope so too.
I do feel as if he will. I think Khabib will go forward with it. Maybe I think you might be right. It might be postponed for a wee bit.
Just don't know how long it's going to take him to.
You just never know with these sort of things, do you? But that's,
yourself
I mean,
again.
especially when you're that close to each other. But
That'd be a nice thing to happen anyway.
I know. Did you hear Brendan Schwab got coronavirus?
Did he? I seen Brian Callen got it.
Has it been confirmed he's got it? Because he got the test done.
Did they both get it?
The two of them
Was it
went
at a
to
comedy club or something?
They went to Texas for a comedy show, and like I think it's quite controversial at the moment because Brendan Schwab has been kind of dismissing
I know
coronavirus quite a wee bit. You know, just saying that like it's like he's not quite said it's fake, but it's almost like it's not a big deal.
Sort of thing.
And even since having it, he's still kind of having that stance that it's not a big deal. He's promoting that he feels absolutely fine.
Right.
I feel as if I heard that he actually put up a post. So after getting the coronavirus, he actually put up a post of him out cycling, and he stays in LA. Do you know what I mean? Which is like, I think that's on the rise again with the coronavirus casualties and stuff. It's on the rise.
If you get the coronavirus, the sensible thing to do be to isolate.
I think he
yourself.
is. Like, I think he's maybe isolated. He shows that he's isolating now, but
I guess the cycle's not so bad if you're staying away from people.
I feel as if it's probably impossible to stay away from people in LA though.
I suppose.
You know, so that was a bit controversial, and especially with the news of Khabib's father dying of coronavirus at the moment, and he's still kind of pushing that it's no big deal. I've got it, but I feel absolutely fine. I'm not even feeling any symptoms. I can go a cycle. He did take that post down, but it's just a bit dodgy, isn't it?
See that?
Yeah.
Was that on his personal page?
It was on his like I seen it on MMA Junkie. They done an article on him, and they didn't sound very pleased with him either. They were like, it's a bit of a joke. He doesn't seem to be taking it seriously. He's still kind of missing the point. Like, I think with his platform.
At what point do you take it seriously, man? People you know around you are dying. Or you know of people that are dying.
Exactly. I think it is. It's well known now that young people like us maybe are okay, but it's maybe certain other people. I mean, Corona.
But it's those around you don't know what's going on in their life.
And Khabib's dad's not exactly old. 57, I wouldn't say he's old.
No, it's not at all.
You know, so I think it's especially when he's got a following like he does. It's pretty crazy that he's so. Like he's been pretty blasé about it, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess it's what he does. He's a comedian. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be too serious with it, but he has got a platform.
Yeah.
But okay, on to next news. We have obviously the Fight Island card coming up next week. So let's actually get into more of these fights. What's kind of happening? I guess the biggest
pull the card up then.
I guess the biggest breaking news at the moment is that Burns is out. Yep. So obviously he's tested positive for coronavirus before before he flew to Yas Island. So him and Usman didn't get on that flight. Him, his brother, and maybe someone else, is one of his coaches, tested positive for it. Which is quite unfortunate for Burns, to be honest, because he's done everything right in terms of he's went through. I mean, his opportunity, everything was on his side. The momentum was on his side. He's taken this opportunity quite last minute, you know, and everything was going in the right direction for him. I'm not saying he was going to win, but I think he had quite a good chance of getting that title, and no one really knew his name before. And if he did fight on the main event on the first card on Fight Island, he would become a lot more well known. You know, he'd have a lot more fans. But unfortunately, due to coronavirus, he's out.
That's very unfortunate.
This is so unfortunate, because he seems to be taking it quite well, I think. I think he was probably hoping that it would be rescheduled for maybe later on down the line, but it looks like UFC are maybe looking to try and actually get a last minute opponent in Masvidal. So,
I'm not gonna lie though, I'd rather see Masvidal fight for the belt.
I think everyone has the exact same feeling.
It's a much better main event in my opinion.
It's the fight that UFC were wanting to make in the first place. Obviously negotiations weren't great between UFC and Masvidal, and that's how it kind of broke down, and that's how Burns was able to get this opportunity, which he did try and seize, to be honest. It was just unfortunate with the coronavirus, but I think a lot of us would rather see Masvidal and Usman. And Masvidal seems game to obviously take this last minute, 7 days notice, which is pretty last minute, but I'm sure he's probably been training.
It's definitely a good thing for the fans.
100%.
Big time.
1,000,000%.
Unfortunate for Gilbert Burns, but it's a good thing for
Very
everyone
unfortunate for
else.
Gilbert Burns, but I mean, this is like, what a story. It's been like kept changing. I'm pretty sure Usman has been thinking about Masvidal for the past 3-4 months, thinking that that's who he would be fighting.
Aye.
You know, and Masvidal has been on a bit of a tear as well.
Well, if Masvidal's been training like a beast up until now, I think he's prepared.
Well, when you think about it, I guess
Imagine so. Like, if he's willing to take the fight on such short notice,
I
I'd
guess
imagine he's prepared.
he was when you think about it, he was in negotiations up until maybe like 4 weeks ago with the UFC to try and get it together for
that's right.
Usman. So I'm assuming if he was thinking that there was a possibility of that fight, I'm pretty sure he would have probably been training in
Specifically
anticipation
for Usman's style.
for that. Yeah, definitely. I guess there's still some hurdles. Like, according to Ariel Horwani, there is just a couple of hurdles to go over, but I don't think any of the hurdles are anything to do with none of them, like either one of them want to fight or money. It seems to now just be it is confirmed and it will go ahead.
So do you reckon they've offered Masvidal that money?
Probably. I think they're probably going to match maybe the Diaz money, perhaps.
Right, okay.
I'm not 100%. It's not came out what they're actually getting offered, but I think he's probably realised, because I think right at the very end of negotiations with Masvidal, they did go to him and say, okay, we'll match the money from Diaz, because I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah, we had this conversation actually.
Yeah, and he turned it down at that point,
which made no sense to me.
So maybe he has reflected on it and realised just how much he wants this opportunity, because
it's a big opportunity for him as well.
to fight on the main card at Fight Island, the very first Fight Island, is going to be massive for all of these fighters.
100%.
So I think the only hurdles in the way is the coronavirus we've seen.
I've seen a article. He's actually testing for it right now.
So he's already testing.
Was.
So I think
he's been tested.
I think there's like 3 tests.
Just waiting on the results.
Another 3 tests they need to do.
Right.
Plus they need to try and cut weight as well. So there's still quite a lot in the air. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure these guys will make it happen.
Hopefully they get it done, man.
I'd see if they get this done. Fight. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
And if they do get it done, who do you reckon takes that?
Oh, if they get it done.
So yeah, prediction for this whole card. Actually, let's start the main event.
Yeah, so let's.
If it is, okay, it goes ahead.
So if it goes ahead, if they manage to get Usman and Usman and Masvidal to Fight Island, which, to be honest with you, I've seen quite a unique circumstance that Ariel Horwani suggested on his. He said potentially to try and make it a bit easier for UFC. Now UFC probably have all of this covered, but he was actually saying they don't need to necessarily go to Fight Island. You could genuinely just have, obviously, broadcast all the fights in Fight Island, because it's only 7 days notice, you know what I mean? You obviously try to fly them out and the amount of different tests. You could have Masvidal and Usman fight in the Apex Centre, and it would the broadcast would just go over, you know what I mean? I think he said that I
mean, why not? There's no fans there anyway.
I think it was WrestleMania 2 or something like that. They done that.
Did they?
In WWE.
That's a shout, actually.
So I was just thinking, just in case like it was going to get shut down for any logistical reasons, that there's no reason why they maybe just couldn't have them in the Apex Centre. Just if, I mean, ideally, I think all of us would love to see all of the fights on Fight Island. Do you know what I mean? Just see how all of these fighters are adjusting to the heat, just adjusting to that scenario. I think all of us are wanting to see that.
Yeah.
But I would rather see the fight than it getting turned down for we're not able to fly them because
100%.
Or maybe they wouldn't make weight if they had to fly and stuff, you know. I'd rather see the fight. But
yeah, you got to be creative under these circumstances.
100%. But if it does happen,
the UFC have been very creative under these conditions.
They've done well.
They've done
really, really well to get these fights on.
Everyone on the roster can now fight.
Yeah,
they've got options for everyone.
That was the whole thing for Fight Island.
That's why Fight Island exists, so they can fly international fighters out. So I think everyone's happy that it's going to be, and I feel as if a lot of the fighters are coming out because they see this is my opportunity to get on a main stage. 100%.
Because I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Fight Island, the Fight 100%. Island card. You know, I think they're going to do a lot of buys. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to obviously what we maybe think will happen. Okay, so just if that goes ahead, Masvidal and Usman. Masvidal's obviously got the confidence right now. I feel as if it's like a Masvidal 2.0.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not really the way he used to fight. He's not maybe the same fighter. Ever since he took that time off, he's just came back.
He's coming back. Literally, he just wants to finish everyone.
Knocking out Darren Till.
Viciously finish everyone he fights.
It has. So, I mean, he's definitely going to have confidence. He's not going to stop coming forward.
When did he last fight, though?
So
it's been a while now.
Fought,
it was Diaz, but when was that?
I wouldn't have said that was too long ago. Would that have been a couple
How
of...
long ago was that? I think about a year.
Surely not.
Genuinely.
You know something?
No, was it?
6 months maybe?
It's got to be more than that.
Really? I always feel as if UFC fights, I always remember them like to be only like, I feel as if that was only a couple of weeks ago. Do you know what I mean?
When was the BMF fight?
When was his last fight?
November the 2nd.
November the 2nd.
At Madison Square Gardens.
I would have almost thought that was this year.
So how many months is that?
That's only, what,
November,
7 months?
December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
Coming up 8 months maybe?
5, 6, 7, 9 months.
9 months.
I can't even fucking count. I'm
But
actually
then
shocking.
when
9
did
months,
but
that's
then when
insane.
did Usman fight Covington? Because that would have been his last fight.
That's right. Yeah, let's see. When
So I mean,
was.
that wasn't exactly all that soon either. So they're both obviously going to be rested. You would like to think both of them would have probably been training because Masvidal, after getting that BMF belt, would have been assuming that
just
he
after
would.
that, really, 14th of December.
So they're both kind of quite similar.
Yeah.
And I think both of them will have been expecting to fight each other.
Aye.
Because I think that's what Masvidal obviously won the BMF
Yeah.
belt, but I think in his mind, I think in a lot of the fans' people's mind, is his next fight will be for the belt. Usman was defending his belt, and I reckon he would have probably been thinking Masvidal's the next number one contender. So
Yeah.
they probably have had each other in their minds for the
Yeah.
last maybe 6 months,
Yeah.
especially when they had negotiations.
Aye.
Personally, I think Usman is ridiculously well rounded.
Mhm.
He's not going to go down without a fight.
No.
He's got really good wrestling. Striking, I feel as if Masvidal would maybe be slightly with that. I don't know.
Wrestling?
No, striking.
Striking.
I feel as if
I think he's
Masvidal
probably
would
got the speed
maybe have.
advantage on the feet.
Yeah, yeah,
I think Usman's got he's more powerful.
yeah.
I don't see how either of them win though, because see when Usman faced Covington, literally he was landing so many clean shots to him, and he literally wasn't even getting phased by it. So he's
Yeah.
got a fucking chin and a half on
Aye,
him.
100%, 100%.
And then obviously Masvidal, he's got some chin on him.
He has.
know what I mean?
Maybe not being as
I
tech.
think
Maybe not
my personal opinion on that fight is Usman takes him down,
ground and pound.
and just wins the
Uses
round,
wins
wins the rounds. It goes the distance.
I think it would go the
Usman takes
distance.
aye.
I think it would be hard to stop any of them, to be honest with you. But I've probably got Usman as well for that. I just don't feel as if.
Another thing as well, if that fight goes ahead, is the BMF title on the line. It's got to be, surely.
I
Obviously,
guess-
UFC have said no. It's a one-off thing.
They
but
said no to that.
they've said like literally the
But what
BMF fight's
like-
a one-off thing.
But what happens with the BMF? Like, so if the BMF title holder
Exactly.
gets beat, he's no longer
Aye.
the.
I think
But it's-
everyone's got a class. Usman's the BMF.
That was quite Michael. Come on, bring in your phone onto the podcast.
Phone him back. Aye, I think
That makes a good point.
Aye.
So
the
I
BMF
reckon-
title's got to be in the line.
I mean, what opportunities is there? So if Masvidal was to win that, he's then holding.
Yeah. He's got all the cards.
He's then holding obviously the welterweight title
Yeah.
and the BMF title, which would be quite an accomplishment. I mean, what a year and a half he would be having,
Big
or
time.
almost 2 years when you
Yeah.
think about it since coming back. I mean, it would make quite a story.
It certainly would.
Masvidal coming back, obviously having these negotiation problems with the UFC, taking it on 7 days' notice,
Yeah.
coming in and then managing to pull it off. I mean, he is then just. I think he then needs to be like in the Hall of Fame after that. I mean, for UFC, it's
without
just
question.
he would be
He's been
massive.
fighting under the UFC for what? How many fights has he had in the UFC?
Oh, I don't
He's
know.
been fighting for like 16, 17 years now.
Aye, and he's came up from like street fights and stuff.
Aye, that's it.
But Usman is no joke.
That's kind of like how I got into fighting. Almost was YouTube, watching Masvidal at Kimbo Slice Not on YouTube.
Oh, that back in the day, the backyard
That
brawls.
was literally the first fights I ever watched.
Was the backyard-
like
it
YouTube
was like-
backyard.
I don't
brawls.
remember seeing. I don't remember seeing Masvidal.
I've
innit?
seen one of his fights, but I was watching mostly Kimbo's fight.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing his name back then, but Kimbo Slice was definitely one that you would
He
always
was the face
see.
of it, wasn't he?
He was like the face of
He was
like
like
the
the undefeated
backyard
guy, he was
fighting
a
and stuff.
beast, an absolute beast.
And then he obviously fought in the
Aye.
UFC
Aye.
a couple of times.
He went into tough with Brendan Schaub, actually.
Unfortunately died, but
I know.
aye. But no, I think so. I would call Usman on that. I'm saying Usman's got it.
I would say Usman.
I don't
I
think
just
he'll,
don't see how Masvidal wins.
I don't think he'll finish him.
Nah.
But I think you might be right. I think it might go the full 5 rounds, and then Usman will be able to maybe steal the rounds with takedowns. I think.
He might try and stay on the feet though. That's the only way I think he would lose the fight, if he fights with his ego and stays on the feet and tries to just like go like toe to toe with
I think
George
there's
Masvidal.
there's bad blood between them, so there's a
Aye.
good chance of that happening. And I
Yeah.
think maybe Usman might be. I don't know if he's got
Because
much.
Covington was like
He was like
landing.
He was landing. He was landing clean.
I mean, see when Masvidal starts landing clean, look what he done to Darren Till. Do you know what I mean? All it takes is that, knock Darren Till out clean. And then even with the Diaz fight, it was literally like, that's as close as much people, 90% of people have came to finishing Diaz. You know, and I was surprised Diaz was managing to take in the power. But
it could go either way.
It could go either way.
Beasts.
I think that's why it's going to be so exciting to see, because it really can go either way. But I think my money is definitely on Usman. He just seems ridiculously well rounded.
I would say your money would be safer with Usman.
I think he's a wee bit more polished. So
he's just so like powerful, man.
Oh,
he's in unbelievable shape.
Yeah. So yeah,
he's been really active.
Are you thinking Usman?
I would say Usman, but I could see it going either way.
Very dominant performances Usman's had since becoming champion. Obviously a very dominant performance to become champion, and then obviously Covington as well. That was some fight actually. You know, that didn't disappoint either. That was quite.
I watched that not long ago.
They hated each other going into that, and
he broke his jaw.
Well, that I heard today that was actually just a rumor.
Did they not break his jaw?
Nah, I didn't break his jaw.
Did they not?
I don't think so. I think that was just a rumour, because that's what people were saying. Who did I hear say that? I think it might have been a rumour that he broke his jaw, but
is that a rumour that he didn't break his jaw?
Maybe. Aye, I know. Fake news. Could be.
Possibly,
could be. But yeah, no, I'll pick Usman for that. 100%.
I would say so.
I just hope it actually happens, because this will be amazing if the UFC pull this off. I think it's the fight we all wanted to see, probably more so than the Burns.
Yeah.
I think I was
as much as I wanted to see the Burns fight, because like he made like his last performance.
They both had
looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
He destroyed Woodley.
They both destroyed Woodley, and Burns has been on a bit of a tear.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted it for him as well, because I thought this is just a guy that no one really knew his name all that well, even a month ago.
Yeah.
And it just came up and took all the opportunities that he possibly can.
He said yes to everything.
In this pandemic, I think he's fought twice, maybe. If not 3 times. Do you know what I mean?
Quick succession.
Very quick succession, and this was going to be his 3rd time headlining.
And he was crying out for the title shot.
Yeah.
That's what Dana White, I've seen in an interview with Dana White, he was saying like he was literally begging for a title shot.
Aye.
And he got it. And obviously it's a shame that he can't
think
fight.
the whole thing about them being like teammates and all that sort of stuff was kind of adding to it, because you're thinking they've both definitely seen each other spar. They sparred each other.
Because he's been moved, was it to Gaethje's camp to train for this fight?
Yeah. So I wonder what difference that's going to make for him as well, you know?
I know, you'd imagine he'd have some sort of like...
Well, look at Gaethje's striking.
Exactly.
The difference in Gaethje's striking when he was against Ferguson.
Gaethje on the feet.
So, I mean, that definitely helps him when he's fighting Masvidal as well.
Definitely.
That needs to happen, because I really need to see what happens between that.
See how you prepare for that one tonight, actually.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest fights in a long time.
100%.
So actually, see, before we move on, do you want to quickly see if there's anything else on that, Michael? See if there's anything else being confirmed. Like, is there any else news on Masvidal and Usman? Yeah, just see if there's anything else being confirmed. I think as far as it's at the moment, they've both agreed to it. And
the most recent one is Kamaru Usman reacts after George Masvidal steps in to face him at UFC 251.
Was this just the
time for the pig to squeal?
Yeah, that was the most recent tweet that he put out as well, wasn't it? In response to Masvidal putting out his first tweet.
Might be time for the pig to squeal.
Yeah, so they've both kind of agreed to it. So that is still just they've both agreed. They generally just need to get through Corona.
Confirmation,
Aye, that'll be amazing.
I reckon not Woodley. Sorry, Usman will walk away from that. They'll still be the champ, and he'll be the BMF.
Right, aye. Well, to be honest, I think that as well. I'm definitely on that. I just look forward to seeing that fight. That's going to be one that I'll be buzzing for, and it's well and truly like deserves the main event
100%.
stage. Now, obviously, going on to the next fight would be our Max Holloway
Alexander
Volkanovski. Now, up until just recently, obviously, they just got bumped up to main event status, and they've both come out saying,
I know, I've seen that.
We were the main event anyway.
It was deserving anyway.
It was deserving. I think they're always the main event.
It's basically back to where it should be.
But that is pretty much the thing with this card. I would pretty much almost all the fights, maybe bar the Paige Van Zant fight, all of them would be...
at least fight night main events. Holloway, Volkanovski, I would say.
Pay-per-view.
Peter Yan
and Aldo.
I think Peter Yan and Aldo would be an actual UFC.
Maybe a fight night one for that.
I say fight night.
Yeah, it's all title fights,
It's debatable. It is debatable.
Absolute legend of the sport, and then someone coming up. So yeah, I mean that is just a thing. Like, I guess it is that in this sport there's egos, and you do kind of want to be the main event. But I think Kamaru Usman and Masvidal, no one can argue with that being the main event.
No question of that.
But moving on to obviously Max Holloway.
Yep.
and Alexander Volkanovski. Now this
We both
is
recently rewatched that first fight, didn't we?
yes, yeah, and it's like Alexander Volkanovski was looking amazing. Now this is obviously the second fight. They've both experienced each other over 25 minutes. It's just been the next fight for both of them. Do you know, Max Holloway got a rematch straight away. Obviously, it's rightly so. I think when you've held the belt for that long and obviously been that dominant,
it's almost like an unwritten rule, isn't it? You get a rematch.
Yeah,
if you've been that dominant for that
I think
long.
that's the thing. See any challenger, they've got to realise that you're going to have to beat the champion twice in a row. As you're going to need to do it twice, especially if you're fighting a champion that's been that dominant. Which Max has been very dominant.
It's like Stipe Miocic as well. He's like the most successful heavyweight. DC beat him, but he's got to fight him again.
100%, yeah. And
think how they turned out.
Now that's onto the trilogy, you know. So you never know. This might end up the same.
Possibly,
if Max comes out of it again, I'm sure the next rematch, depending on how it goes, they'll probably fight yet again, depending on how Max wins, if he does win. Now, let's start breaking down this fight.
There's a couple of points on this.
Definitely. So I think first of all is like preparations for this at the moment. Now, big news obviously coming from Max Holloway. He obviously spilt on Ariel Helwani's show that his training has been over Skype and he's not been sparring.
Not been in the gym.
I think he's got a home gym. He's been doing stuff. I think he said the only thing he'd be missing out on was a certain treadmill they use.
Right.
But I mean, if your team's not there, that's what I'm thinking as well. If he's doing it over
You're not getting
Skype,
your hands on anyone, man.
I know. I would imagine like not being able to hit the mitts with your actual coach and things as well. Not getting the sparring in. I would assume that making sure that you've got a camp that's got plenty of sparring and hitting mitts is definitely going to help with your timing, which is what Max's biggest advantage is. He'll always just touch you up, and I feel as if that was almost what he was missing in the first fight. He wasn't quite able to get the combinations together that he normally does.
I think a lot of that was due to he had to switch stance due to the leg kicks.
Well, this is another.
He was fighting for I think it was like 3 rounds. Like
did he switch in the second round?
Aye.
And then the rest of the rounds he was pretty much switched, to be honest.
His leg must have been killing him.
Yeah, but he's coming out and saying that it didn't bother him. And
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I find that extremely hard to believe as well.
The size of Volkanovski's legs.
Because that
tree chunks, man.
I mean, what did he used to weigh? 240 pounds?
240 pounds, which is insane.
Playing rugby?
That's literally just shy of what, 100 pounds.
He would be able to fight heavyweight.
95 pounds.
He would be able to fight heavyweight.
That's insane.
And he looked like, I mean, he's just, for how short he is as well.
Let's pull that picture up, actually.
It's a crazy.
I think, didn't I?
Yeah,
I cannot believe it.
He looked huge, so chunky, and his legs are still like tree trunks.
Yeah,
I feel as if that must be where most of his weight is. And from the get-go, he was just tearing up Max Holloway's lead leg.
Yeah. What was the one I seen? It was this one here.
Yeah.
Look at the size of him.
Look at the size of him.
The thick boy.
I feel as if his legs have got thicker.
He's probably just lost a lot of fat around it.
You can see all the muscle now, but straight away, so he has got some strength.
I seen one of his face, man. That's it here. Look at that.
Wow, he's chunky, isn't he?
He's thick, man.
Who would have known that he could get down? Who would have known?
It doesn't look like there's 95 pounds to lose there, does it?
No, I don't actually know how he's able to do that.
Because he's really short.
He's
much smaller than Max.
So that was the thing as well. So obviously he's a lot shorter than Max, but his reach is almost the same or longer than Max's. Right. Obviously, I don't think it really counts because his legs are so small and things. I think Max has definitely still got the advantage in that area, you know. But he done the right thing in the first round, just like the first fight. Just tearing up Max's lead leg. And as much as he might say that it didn't really affect him, he switched stance and he almost kept it that way, which.
Didn't look as good in that stance, I didn't think.
No, he maybe wasn't able to get off maybe the combinations that he normally does.
It was a very close fight though. We were having that conversation earlier.
I think
it's such a close fight.
We've always said that, like, I think if you're coming in and you're needing to beat obviously quite a dominant champion, I feel as if you need to do it in quite good fashion.
Yeah, 100%.
It needs to be quite obvious for you to actually be able to take that belt off of that person. Obviously, I think he was winning. He definitely won the first 3 rounds. Potentially people might give him even more than that, but every round was really close.
I would have hated to be a judge for that fight.
No, exactly. But I mean, that's what everyone says. If you leave it to the judges, it's going to. It really could go either way. There's been some crazy decisions.
What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, Alexander Volkanovski was looking really good.
He had so much confidence. He just looked like he knew he was going to win.
see, being a challenger, he came into that looking like almost like the champion.
He did.
See, especially that first round, he just was just tearing up that front leg, swinging with extremely bad intentions.
They were talking to each other as well through the whole fight.
I like that. I did like that, but he was like, I think sometimes when challengers come up against such dominant champions, sometimes they respect them a wee bit too much, and don't really implement their game plan. Whereas I feel as if Alexander,
it was a good game plan he had, to be fair. Yeah,
definitely. Now they've both experienced each other now over the 25 minutes. I don't feel as if this fight's going to go anywhere near the same. I think obviously Max maybe didn't. He maybe underestimated how much damage that those leg kicks would do. I mean, every single one sounded like a baseball bat was coming off his leg, and that, like, as much as he can say that didn't affect me, and he was saying that he went out and partied that night, which is unreal. Max, he's like, I went out and partied and I was dancing and stuff. I was like, I don't see how that's possible.
I find that hard to believe.
He'd only be kidding himself, I think. But I don't think he's going to allow that this time. So I don't think that's going to be as big a factor as leg kicks this time. Also, Alexander Volkanovski's known for his takedowns and then ground and pound, which did we even see one?
But you haven't seen one.
Couple of attempts.
So you haven't,
maybe an attempt or two, but there was no actual.
I've seen that in Max stuff, and I don't think he took him down properly.
Max has got amazing
maybe once
takedown
and he
defense.
got straight back up.
He's got amazing takedown defense, so it's not going to be. But like, that is where Alexander Volkanovski can really shine if he does actually like start implementing his takedowns. If he manages to take Max down and really start landing his ground and pound, because he has got some strength. He probably will be able to hold him there for a round, the end of a round if he needed to. So I feel as if we're not going to see anywhere near the same fight what we seen first time, which I'm extremely excited about.
I can't wait for that fight. I must admit though, I hope Max gets his belt back, because they love Max.
I love Max as a champion. I really did. I feel as if he just wasn't able to get into his rhythm, and now I don't think that's to do with Max. I feel as if that was to do with Alexander Volkanovski. I feel as if he didn't let him get into his rhythm. He tore up that front leg. He kept Max kind of guessing. He didn't let Max get into his rhythm, find his range. The way Alexander Volkanovski was actually closing distance was quite unbelievable as well. Kind of reminded me a bit of DC. The way he just gets in the pocket, gets the punches, comes out. Even as he was coming out, he was landing the leg kick just to make sure, he looked amazing. I feel as if Max has the intelligence to learn from that, come in again, but I feel as if both of these fighters are not going to come into this fight the same as they did the first one. And you're going to see, I think one of them will be finished. I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds.
I hope not. I love to see a finish.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched the Ortega fight, Holloway Ortega fight that night. I forgot how good that fight was.
That was amazing. It's amazing.
Good.
And it's kind of what Max does. Like, the first couple of rounds, he's obviously always a wee bit slower. He actually misses quite a lot to begin with, because he's feeling it out. He almost deliberately misses to get his range. And then
as soon as he's got his range, he starts throwing 4, 5, 6, 7 combination punches together.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So like, I feel as if a 5-round fight actually helps him out sometimes. Because if it was a 3-round fight, sometimes he feels out.
Just get into his rhythm. That's it.
I
think that's probably the best I've ever seen Max look against Ortega.
And Brian Ortega was no fool. He was literally. He finished Frankie Edgar literally just before he fought Max Holloway. Do you know what I mean? Frankie Edgar, no joke, had not been finished before Ortega, and then obviously Max Holloway comes in and does that. So if we see that Max Holloway, and if he actually manages to find his rhythm, get into that fight, I think that could be quite similar. I think it's going to be a bit more of a brawl, this one.
I think Max has got to be a bit more aggressive, man. Just go for it.
Yeah,
100%. He's got the potential to do some serious
I feel as if he
damage.
needs to come in a wee bit faster. He needs to start faster, and he needs to get Volkanovski's respect straight away. He needs to remind Volkanovski that I'm the champion. And actually just be the old Max. That being said, that's not going to be any easy feat, because Volkanovski will definitely, I think, come in with a different game plan this time. Maybe go for a bit more takedowns. There was I watched obviously the breakdown as well from Dan Hardy, and I hadn't noticed this either, but could have been a reason why Alexander Volkanovski wasn't going for too many takedowns afterwards. But Max Holloway, as Volkanovski was coming in, I think it was maybe round 3, Max actually did land a knee to his midsection, which Volkanovski did. He acknowledged it, shaked it, and then that definitely puts you off going for takedowns.
Maybe that's what put him off then for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, and I think maybe perhaps if Max uses his knees a lot more as well, it will stuff that. Like, that's what everyone does.
Yeah.
As soon as they've got someone that they're fighting that's going to maybe be going for takedowns, they want to show them that knee to be like, okay, you try it, I'm going to land that. You know. My prediction will be Max Holloway winning that, and I think he'll finish it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll finish it a TKO.
I hope so too.
I'm
going to go with that too, and all to be honest.
Maybe like late round 3, round 4, something like that. Round 3. I'm going to go round 3. Max Holloway TKO.
Right, okay.
But again, I think this is going to be an amazing fight. It really can go either way. It just goes to show this card. You like, if you're a betting man, I would struggle because they're both amazing. Yeah. Like I say, you're going to see different fighters this time, I think.
Yeah, they've got to do something different.
100%.
Volkanovski probably do the same thing, but Max has got to be more aggressive, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, I think that's going to be really good.
100%.
I just hope that Max has prepared in the right way, because like we said before, we went over it quite quick there, but I mean, he's just been speaking to his coaches, training over Skype.
I know. I mean, but see, when you're at that level, when you're that experienced, they can't make that much of a difference, really, can it?
Yeah, I just hope
he's got all the tools.
He's also
at that point.
He's also known for his cardio. I just hope his cardio is there as well. You know, because with his striking and his cardio, that's what makes him TKO people, because they're exhausted, and it's just the number of hits. You know, so I'm hoping. But
I'm excited for that one, by the way.
Oh,
there's gonna be some scrap.
I mean, what a card! What a main ridiculous card! It's crazy.
It really is.
So we're saying Max Holloway,
the blessed era, the blessed express is rocking up to Yas Island.
Yeah, his son's not going to be there, I don't think.
Understandable.
Under these Can't really get them there, but okay. So moving on to Jose Aldo and Peter Yan. Yet another title fight. Obviously, there's a vacant title at the moment, and another crazy fight, to be honest with you. So, as much as this is obviously not even the co-main event, this is going to be a crazy fight, I think.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest, I don't really know an awful lot about Peter Yan.
I think he's came up quite fast, quite recently. He's obviously taken out quite a few bigger names, but what I've noticed is they're maybe a bit older names. I mean, obviously his last fight, Uriah Faber. Yeah. I mean, it's as much as you've taken out Uriah Faber and you've finished them. Uriah was out for a couple of years. Only had one fight pre Peter Yan. Obviously he finished him in quite a good fashion, to be honest with you. He looked great. His striking looked amazing. But and even before that, who else? Like, see if you bring up Peter Yan's fights, his last couple of fights, and see who it is. I feel as if it's more like a couple of veterans he's been finishing. Well, I guess Aldo's the same. So he's fighting another veteran. Exactly. But maybe he's been, like, I feel as if he's been maybe finishing people that are a wee bit more past their prime.
Right, okay.
So let's go to Wikipedia.
So Jimmy Rivera, John Dodson.
Jimmy Rivera and John Dodson, two people that have been about about for quite a wee while. You know, they're still good names to finish. Yeah. It still takes some talent to finish, but I think when you put Aldo up to those names, Aldo is still a jump up in competition, so. I would say, and this will probably be a bit more of more of his bigger tests.
I remember we were saying Peter Yan literally looks like
a Glaswegian scaffolder, and he does.
He actually does as well.
He actually does. Some boy.
How is he not Scottish?
I know. Russian.
Is he Russian?
Did we say he was Russian? I think we found out he was Russian.
I think you're right.
No, so it's definitely going to be a step up in competition fighting Aldo. Everyone was obviously a wee bit not sure how Aldo was going to look coming down to 135. To be honest with you, he looks absolutely fine. He's been tweeting that this weight cut's
actually... Was his last fight against Marias, that was controversial. People thought
he lost.
Won that, didn't
Personally, I thought he won as well. I feel as if he landed more significant strikes. He was constantly pressuring, which I think definitely adds as well if you're judging. If like whoever's the aggressor, he was definitely pushing forward the entire time. Yeah, he was getting hit with stuff as well, but he was always answering with a couple of punches or kicks, and he was landing as well. So personally, I thought Aldo won that, and Dana White obviously agrees because I mean he's set up this title.
I'd like to see Aldo become a champ again.
That would be amazing.
Bit of an OG, isn't he?
Do you think he'll retire if he does become a champion here?
I think so. I
mean, what else does he have to prove?
Nothing.
If he becomes,
you don't want to keep fighting, do you?
He must
He's
love
nothing else to prove.
Yeah.
You really don't.
it. Yeah, no, 100%.
I reckon Aldo will win this one though.
You think so? How
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I think he'll finish him
Well, I
later
think
in the fight.
Aldo's leg kicks are crazy, but I just see
He's
the
still
most
got the power,
recent
man.
fights. I've just never seen him using them to the way he used to use them.
Yeah.
He's never really used his leg kicks as much, and I think if he uses them against Peter Yan, which again is a good striker, very very precise,
Yeah.
probably could be a better striker than Aldo. I think if he does just eat up those league legs,
Yeah.
focus on that, get the kicks, then he'll probably start being able to landing. He'll be able to start landing to the head after that.
Yeah.
And if he does, like you're saying, he does still have the power at that weight. I feel as if his power, he won't have lost it.
No.
He's been saying
He's
also,
probably going to be the bigger man as well, isn't he?
yeah, he's also been saying on social media that this weight cut's easy. He's finding it easy.
Oh,
How much do you believe
I
that?
can't
I don't
imagine
know.
weight cut's very easy, man.
No, especially if you're having to cut an extra 10 pounds of what you used to have to cut.
He used to look like a skeleton even at 145 when he was cutting weight.
Yeah, I feel as if he needs to go back to the way he was when he was champion or reigning champion.
Yeah.
Everyone used to like dread those leg kicks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Use them straight away,
Yeah.
then start landing, to more of the head. But I think again that is going to be a crazy fight.
So we're both picking Aldo. Are you picking Yan?
I think I might.
You go with
like,
Yan.
I think Yan will win it. As much as I would like Aldo to win, I'd love Aldo to win. I would love Aldo to be able to get obviously another championship belt. But I think Peter Yan is the younger fighter. His striking's unbelievable. He's got some strength.
Yeah.
I feel as if he's just going to lure Aldo into certain traps and then probably be able to finish him. I think.
See, to be honest, actually, I might go with Yan. I don't think Aldo's recovered from that left hand from Conor yet. He's still struggling.
No one's the same after
He's still half asleep.
No one's the same after losing to Conor, is he?
That was vicious.
That was unbelievable. Being such a dominant champion, 10 years, and then gets finished in 14 seconds. That was unbelievable.
16.
No one could have. Was it 16 seconds? That's pretty unbelievable.
It's insane.
No, that is insane. I would say Peter Yan's going to win that. I know he's maybe not.
I'll go with Aldo just for talking's sake.
I would like my heart says Aldo, but my head says Peter Yan.
Yeah. Who else is in the card? Then let's get the rest of
So
the card up.
the next fight is actually a crazy good fight as well. I'm actually, something. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Now the first
That's
one.
not a title fight. It was a title fight the last time they fought, though, wasn't it?
Title fight the last. It's Jean Wally. What's her name again? That's got that title now.
Oh, Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili. She obviously had fight the night.
What a fight that
fight of
was.
the year. Sorry.
Against Joanna. How do you say that? Young Jacek.
Us Scottish accents, man. We absolutely murder people.
So wrong.
We actually murder people's names,
really
don't we?
At least we're trying, though.
We are trying. At least we're trying. That was a crazy first fight. I'm not gonna lie. Straight off the bat, I think Rose has got this.
I feel Rose is going to have it as well.
Depending on how she comes back.
Fuck Rose.
She was dominating that first fight. And then it was quite a crazy slam, which I feel as if she made a mistake.
Aye.
Because it happened twice in that fight. The first one didn't work, and then I feel as if she felt as if she was going to be able to get out of it the same way she did the first one, and she just landed differently. It was quite a bit of a freak accident.
That almost was. Aye.
Rose hasn't actually fought since, so I'm hoping she just comes back with the same.
That's her only kind of recent fight. She's not looked amazing in.
Yeah,
Every other fight she looked actually insanely good in.
And I mean, obviously, Andrade bet Rose, but then lost straight after that to Jean Wally on her next fight. Obviously now champion, but I feel as if I think Rose is going to get this. I think she's going to come back in with a wee bit of a chip on her shoulder, and I think she will. Then that'll set up an amazing fight between Rose and Jean Wally. Jean Wally. The rematch. I think that'll be a crazy fight. But yeah, no, breaking that down, I think it's Rose has got it.
I hope so.
I also hope she does.
I like Rose. I'm a fan.
Massive fan. I think if she comes back the way she has been fighting, if she's as focused, got the speed, she's got power as well. I think she's got it.
She throws some beautiful combinations together, man, doesn't she?
Doesn't she?
Nice hands.
She just keeps pushing forward as well. She's got some pressure. So yeah, I would say that is definitely going to go Roses. Does she finish it?
I don't think so.
I don't think she finishes it. I think
distance, but I think
is that one just going to be a 3-rounder then?
It will be.
I would say Rose is probably going to finish. Not finish that one, but it'll probably go the distance. But Rose will probably win every round, I would imagine. And then the last fight of the main card, we've got Paige Van Zandt and Amanda Ribas. So Paige Van Zam.
Have you seen the video with that Amanda Rebus training in her hotel room?
No.
It's pretty funny, man.
Is this is it the hotel room in Yas Island?
Yas Island. Yeah, I'll try if I can find it, right. She took the mattress off the bed, and it's up against the wall, and she used it as a punching bag.
Jeez, aye. I guess that's the whole thing about Fight Island. They need to be creative. You know, it's not going to be probably as comfortable, and they're not going to have what they need to train like what they normally get. You know, they normally get actual training rooms. Right now, they're literally just getting, I think, one specific wee area each to train, which I think what makes it so interesting about these fights from Fight Island.
Definitely.
Was it on our story?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. So I just put it in Google.
Yeah, it might make sense just putting it straight into Google, but I think that's what makes all of these, like, obviously the predictions that we've made just there, anything could happen, because on Fight Island these fighters they might not look and feel, they might not be able to fight the way they normally fight, and anything can happen.
I found it.
So you found it?
Found her. Here she is.
This is her in her training
So
room in
Brett
Yas Island.
Okamoto, welcome to a fight week in 2020.
Brilliant.
Athletes in Brazil are tested and then quarantined for 48 hours before flying to Fight Island. Here's Amanda Rebus, who fights Paige Van Zant, working out in her hotel room. It's pretty mad.
There's nothing normal about the fight weeks here and the preparation for these fights, which is so crazy about the Fight Island card, because like I was just saying, there's no guarantee any of these fighters are going to look the way we normally see them.
Exactly.
So trying to like put that's brilliant.
It's cool, isn't it?
That is, it's good. She's doing what it takes. Do you know what I mean?
Look at her. She's got the pillow now. She's grounding pounding the pillow.
Pounding the pillow.
Hands up.
You know something like Paige Van Zam. I don't know who's taking this.
Respect to these fighters, by the way.
I know.
You kind of forget what they need to go through. You only see them on the night.
You see how impressive
that's their entire life.
You see
training.
You can see how impressive they look on the night, but it's just like what they've had to do to get there. You know,
prepare for that fight.
It's like I can only imagine what the heat's like there just now. It must be absolutely crazy. You're probably not really allowed to go much places. I wouldn't imagine.
No. When you arrive, you've got to literally stay in your hotel room for 40 hours. It just says that there.
It looks like the UFC are all over it. It does look like they're going to. I don't think there's going to be any positive cases now that they're.
I don't think so.
Yas Island.
I want to quickly show you something else as well.
Who would you say is going to win that then? Paige Van Zam or? I don't think.
I have no idea. I think female fights like
Paige
could probably
go
either way. Aye. Let me show you something now. John Morgan.
John Morgan.
He'd probably get the most distinct voice in the UFC. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is John Morgan the guy who does the not embeddeds but the
No. Wait till I'll show you the guy, right? And you'll straight away that guy.
Oh yes.
He's always asking questions.
Always ask the question. He's always first at press conferences.
Look at his
Is he at Yas Island?
I think we've missed his story. It was his whole travelling over there.
Was he on the same? So were they on the same plane as the fighters?
No, he only travelled over yesterday.
So do you think they put a separate flight on?
Here, right? Okay,
do you think they put a separate flight on for media?
Probably, aye. This is basically from America to Yas Island.
So that was the thing. There was a hub in Vegas, was there? So they were taking everyone to Vegas, and then they were going from Vegas to Yas Island.
That's right.
So I think people were quarantining in Vegas as well for maybe 24 hours to 48 hours perhaps. And then from there, they were flying to straight to Yas Island. So this is it.
So this is John Morgan giving extensive details about the trip to Yas Island.
So is that them getting their temperature taken?
Aye. So after already submitting negative COVID-19 test to board tonight's flight, we'll also
given temp checks just
right
before getting onto the plane. Yeah, they're all over it. So now, I don't think this is quite the treatment that the fighters were having.
Right, okay, he's not first class.
No, he doesn't look first class. They were all like literally in almost beds.
Look at that, that's the bus. When they get there, it's literally all like shut off the driver. He's got all his PPE.
So that whole island is for 10 miles cordoned off to everyone but UFC fighters. So it's just people that are obviously to do with UFC. They've got a 10-mile radius. So they've definitely done the right thing. As long as they know that they're not taking anyone with coronavirus, which is probably why they're having so many tests before they're getting there. They're not going to have any issues when they're there.
I mean, where in the world is safer than Yas Island right now?
I don't think anywhere, because there's everything's cropping back up again.
Every precaution possible.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a goal. Do you know what I mean? The fighters are there now. Obviously, other than Usman and Masvidal, which
you were saying might take place in the Apex.
I think that was just a total rumor. But I mean, if
did you make it up?
made it up, no. Ariel was talking about it, but I did when I heard it. I was thinking that's a pretty good idea.
It is.
I'd rather that fight happen than not happen purely because they couldn't make it to Yas Island. But I think hopefully they'll get there, because I think that's the gist. So
I hope so.
I think if it's going to go ahead, you'll be able to start seeing movement soon. You'll be able to know if it's going ahead, because I think they do need to go to Vegas first, probably get tested, be there for at least 24 hours. Obviously test negative, then get on a flight, go to Yas Island, probably yet again, be 24 hours in isolation. And remember, you need to think during this they're having to do a weight cut as well. You know, so it could be quite hard. It could be quite
it sounds like
strenuous.
a hellish week, to be honest.
I know, but
you're in paradise, man, but you're going through hell.
Yeah. I think now they'll at least be with their teams.
Yeah.
Because as long as they've all tested negative for it, they'll at least be able to be with their teams. Their teams will be helping them cut weight.
Yeah.
And it is just waiting around. I guess as they're in quarantine, they're not exactly sitting about. They're probably training. So yeah, no, that's going to be amazing. So that's the whole card. That's kind of our predictions for the Fight Island, the first card, which is going to be amazing. I think we'll maybe do a bit of a podcast. Not so much a podcast, we'll do our reactions straight away to these fights as well, because it's going to be amazing. These are definitely, this is a fight card we're going to stay up for.
Oh, without doubt.
Obviously being in Scotland, I think it's going to be just our normal time.
Which is unfortunate, because usually when it's in Dubai, it's like starts up at 7 o'clock, I think, the main card, doesn't it?
Oh, it would have been perfect. But so, amazing. I guess that's another thing for obviously for the fighters. They're going to be, I think the main card starts at around 6 or 7.
Right. Is that AM?
AM in the morning for them. In Dubai. So I think the main event will probably about 8 o'clock, half 8, something like that in the morning for them. So I don't know, like I think a lot of these camps will be coming at it differently. Are they going to try and stick to American their clocks?
I'd imagine they would probably try and adjust to that.
Are they going to try and adjust to Yas Island? Or, you know, like
surely.
Would it feel normal to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and fight, or 4 o'clock in the morning and fight at 6? It's going to be crazy. I'm so looking forward to seeing this. I'm absolutely buzzing for this. I don't think there's been much bigger situations in history for UFC other than Fight Island getting this going during the COVID. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
Big time.
And as America's kind of getting back to, I mean, a lot of those places are kind of closing down again. A lot of the cities are going back into lockdown. And luckily, UFC has managed to get fighters off to Yas Island, negative testing, and a fight is going to be on this Saturday.
I am buzzing.
I'm absolutely buzzing for that as well.
Did you, like, this is totally off topic, well, not really off topic, but did you see Francis Ngannou taking a body shot?
Oh, was he with a no? Bring it up.
He's taking 2 body shots. The first one from like I think it was a bantamweight,
right?
And now he's taking one from a heavyweight.
Aye, and he took a couple. I think I seen one of them, and he took a couple, and then he was like, "Okay, that's enough."
Absolute animal. He just built like a brick shit house, man.
He's he's a different type of specimen, isn't he?
This is the first one.
This is the one I've seen.
Look at the shape he's in.
So is this a bantamweight?
Oh, it looks like a bantamweight. Well, anyone probably looks like a bantamweight beside him, but
it's a bantamweight taking.
I'm assuming he's quite.
Aye, the guy's giving it everything as well.
He's putting everything into that.
Aye, I seen this. So it's like flinching. Yeah. Then it's like this next one. Oh no, there he's like, okay, that's enough. But that's crazy.
Let me see this one.
Oh, so he's done it with heavyweight now.
Oh, that looks like a heavyweight, surely.
Yeah, he's big. He's thick. Oh god, this is going to be one. This is going to be bad.
Does he even move though? It looks like you're hurting a wee bit.
But that you're just letting someone land a crazy body shot. He is in some shape. See, obviously speaking about people in some shape, that doesn't stop.
Right, okay.
That just keeps going.
Oh, we started again then.
Started all these again. Speaking of, it's quite something. Obviously speaking about people that are quite big in some shape, Paulo Costa. Have you seen his training videos recently?
Nah.
So he's obviously
is it his Instagram?
It's on his Instagram. He's obviously been putting some training videos out of him getting ready for Israel Adesanya. But I mean, I don't know how he's going to cut down. Like, he is some size. He's got some amount of muscle on him. He must be like way up 210.
Really?
Yeah, he's big. He's a big boy, and it's like he doesn't look like he's got much fat to lose, but his power, he looks unbelievable.
He's a unit, isn't he?
He is an absolute unit.
I see this, man.
Is there a schedule for them to fight? Do you know what?
When that's not scheduled yet, obviously the new tough coaches. So I'm assuming
The new tough coaches, so it'll be
they'll
after
schedule
that.
a date after
Yeah.
that. Aye.
So I mean, he's got time.
Oh my!
He's huge. I think it was like hitting
Mate.
pads as well.
He's size of him, man.
He's a big boy.
How is he a middleweight?
Is there? See if you come down, you see him hitting pads.
Wow.
I think there was one he put on. See if you keep coming down.
That one there. No?
Keep coming. Keep coming.
You've been keeping this guy.
Have, clearly.
Check this one out.
This is it. This is it, actually. This is the one here.
Okay, size of him.
Right, so so this is what he says. Figure, skinny ribs, replacing that pad, aka Israel Adesanya. But look at the size of him. There's no chance he's going to be able to come into that fight that big.
No way.
He
He does look quite lean though.
He's lean as anything, but I mean that's got to be. He's huge. That's heavyweight material right there.
How does he make middleweight?
I don't know. It doesn't look like he's got all that fat on him too.
What's your prediction for that fight?
Israel Adesanya.
Did we not have this conversation
know,
before?
man.
Actually,
There's going to be
tough conversation.
There's going to be a lot of factors in that. I think depending on even what happens in tough. Paulo Costa's English is getting a lot better.
Much better.
I remember when he was first fighting, he couldn't speak English.
Nah.
And you see him on his stories and that now, he's speaking.
He's getting far better.
He's almost like speaking perfect English.
I'm assuming he's probably training in America now.
Aye, I'd imagine so. But he looks huge.
Aye.
Like we said before, I think his fight will be. I think he's going to bring the fight to Israel Adesanya, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Israel deals with someone with that power, because that's what I was looking forward to the Romero fight.
Yeah.
Seeing how Israel uses his technique and speed against someone with so much power, brute with chin as well, and that will just keep coming forward, and that will really test Israel. Like, I think he definitely does have the distance, the speed, the agility to be able to like use his skills to get out of the way, land counters. But I think it was too easy in the Romero fight because Romero was literally just standing pretty much in the middle of the octagon, just waiting on it. But I think Paulo Costa is going to take the fight to Israel Adesanya, so he's going to have the opportunity to land his counters, potentially finish Costa if he can. But
that's what they all say, isn't it? Timing and speed beats power.
Exactly.
So we'll certainly see.
Costa has some chin. I'd love to see it as a fight like Costa and Romero was, where they're just testing each other. I think that would be amazing.
Genuinely, I know I've said it before, but I don't know how he makes middleweight. Like, genuinely, see when they stand side by side, he looks like double the width of Adesanya.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Yeah. No, he does. There's no doubt about it. He looks huge. So I'm looking forward to that fight. But I think it'll be. I think we just need to wait until the tough is going on. See how they're looking.
Aye.
See what's kind of happening with like trash talk as well, because that can sometimes
affect the fight.
Because I think Israel Adesanya will now have time.
Yeah.
They'll be together. He'll definitely use it for his advantage.
He'll definitely try and get in his head, won't he?
Try and get into his head, piss him off because he maybe doesn't have the best English. You know, so you just don't know what's going to happen. But we'll do a prediction a wee bit closer, or maybe a wee bit closer to that fight, because it's not even been scheduled yet. That one, has it? You know, I don't think it's got a schedule yet, but. So I think
pretty much everything.
What else is happening in the news just now that we would need to cover? Obviously, we've tested all of that. Obviously, actually, there is. There's even point in really going into that, because there was. Did you obviously see Covington calling out Masvidal as well?
I've seen something. I didn't read into it.
So, like, Masvidal's biggest gripe right now was not getting paid enough, and Covington has been goading at Masvidal for quite a while, obviously looking for a fight. I think now Masvidal's hopefully going to be going to Yas Island to fight USMAN, but Covington put the offer out that it would be a winner takes all fight in the UFC, meaning obviously they'll both put up their purses.
That's not going to happen, is it?
No, I don't think it would ever happen. I don't think any managers or any coaches would ever let that happen, because I mean,
exactly.
you've got a good chance that you're just not going to get paid.
They're
Do
just
you know
trying
what
to
I
set
mean?
the fight, aren't they?
They're just trying to set up the fight, but I don't think there's any other better fight than
I'd
Masvidal.
much rather see Masvidal has been.
Definitely. I don't think
100%.
there's any chance that's going to happen. I think he's just trying to put it out there, you know. And I mean, he's lost to Usman,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, in his last fight. So I think
He
everything
got
is
finished, so
he get finished.
it's not a massive argument for a rematch.
Exactly.
Is it,
He's
really?
coming off a loss. Masvidal's coming off nothing but wins. Do you know what I mean? I think it's definitely the Masvidal Usman that just makes
a lot more sense.
so much more sense.
Big time.
Aye. So I think that's about everything we need to really talk about on this
days away
podcast.
from Fight Island now.
Days away. Literally, that's it. We're going to be going on to fight week. So I think what's going to make this one really, really interesting is obviously we're still unsure of what's happening with the main event.
Yeah.
I think that makes it quite exciting going into fight
actually.
week. I think see as soon as that's confirmed, I mean, everyone is going to be buzzing for that fight. And then once it's confirmed, we're also going to see exactly how these fighters are going to get there and how they're going to deal with obviously this week.
Yep.
Either if they're travelling to Yas Island, if they stay in the Apex. And then also you've got to just think that Masvidal is coming on obviously last minute, 7 days notice. I'm assuming he probably has been training, but the confidence he's going to be coming, I think he's going to go in there with a lot of confidence.
I would say so.
You know, and it's
I'm looking forward to seeing the embedded. Get a kind of behind the scenes look at Yas Island.
I'm hoping they've taken. I'm sure they've taken the camera crowd to that.
Surely,
it entices a lot of people in to
does,
buy. I think the embeddeds are very underrated.
I think so.
I feel as if they definitely make people buy.
Definitely.
You know, because sometimes if you're not too excited about certain fights, watching the embeddeds can certainly
you feel
get
more
you
connected
going.
to it and all the fighters and stuff.
Embedded is really, really good. That was a great addition.
That
was a great addition to UFC. You know, you definitely see just it definitely, I think, creates fan bases for a lot of these fighters as well.
There's not many sports that do that. They lead up to a big game or whatever. They don't show you any behind the scenes.
Yeah, all the preparation, what they're thinking, their
it
teams. It definitely hits, and it just hypes the fight so much. I feel.
Does,
I'm looking forward to seeing all that. I don't think they'll have any press conferences over there. They've got media. Media has obviously went over. The schmoes went over. Obviously, all the main media has went over as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out.
Big time.
I think we're just waiting right now just to see what happens with this main event. I hope they do.
Are we still going now?
This to Yas Island. We're heading tomorrow, aren't we?
Flying from Glasgow.
We wish.
That'd be epic.
We wish that was the case.
So that's quite a short flight as well. I think it's only
for us
7 hours or something. 8 hours maybe.
8 hours to Dubai. I think it's about the same from America to there.
No, it's really far. I think
Is it?
I think it's like 19 hours or something.
19 hours for them, so that's quite a long flight. That's a long flight for them.
It's
A long
have
flight.
an effect on people jet lag. That's probably why they're flying it early.
I think that's why this week is going to show a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of things unfold.
Vegas.
From Vegas to Dubai.
Flight. How long is 21 hours.
21 hours. Now, see if you've they
They
probably won't have. I'm assuming they won't have really started a weight cut yet. They might just be. That is something.
That's a long fight. I thought it was a full day.
Yeah, and I feel as if obviously that's a 21-hour flight. Obviously, for all these fighters to get to Yas Island. Now, I would imagine if you were normally coming that far and there was going to be that big a change in heat, most of these fighters would have normally liked to have got to a different location
weeks earlier.
Earlier. Obviously, they've just not had the choice, and they're now having to go literally 7 days out to there, and you've got a 21-hour flight. You're then going to come off. You're going to then have to go into isolation.
Yeah, you're got the whole time differences and stuff.
Then you're going to have to do a weight cut. Then I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of media obligations for them all going into this as well. There's just a crazy amount of factors that's going to go into these fights. It's going to be different. I'm buzzing to see how all of this plays out. It's different for everyone. No one really knows what is really going on. It's a first. There's a lot of firsts. Let's hope that the main event gets put together and we get that
let's
extra
hope all
fight.
the fights deliver, man.
Yeah. Because throughout this podcast we really we've put the bar quite high. We're thinking there's going to be finishes. We're buzzing for the fights.
On these guys.
Let's just hope that all of these fighters bring it. I feel as if they're all going to know that they're on a massive platform. There's going to be a lot of
opportunity in it.
There's going to be a lot of eyes on this. First fights on Fight Island. You know, it's an amazing card. It's going to do a lot of buys. I feel as if they're all going to bring it. They are going to bring it. They're just going to come forward.
No pressure.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
No
But yeah, I guess we'll do, if anything unfolds later in the week, we'll definitely do another wee bits and bobs, wee updates. But if not, we will definitely do something over the fights.
100%.
I think we'll definitely watch the fights, maybe do something with that, and put our instant reactions up to this first Fight Island fights. But
can't wait.
Until then, guys, we will see you next time.
See you in a bit.
Enjoy the week, enjoy the fight week, and we look forward to seeing you again.